In creating the fusion line, I took my inspiration from a lot of natural elements because that's what really truly speaks to me. So things like wood and stone, anything that you find in nature with those really nice warm soft tones, natural limestone, wool, anything that makes you feel cozy. I really wanted to bring that into the fusion line. Now we're so lucky to be working with designer Michael Penny, and we've just come out with 2 new colors, and one of them is called Pebble and the other one is Linen. And this is really going to add a whole other dynamic to the line. But I want to show you the difference between what we already have and the new colors so that you can really see for yourself. So when we're talking about taupes, I'm going to start off with this gray color. It's called Sterling, and you don't typically imagine a gray to be a taupe, but I want to show you the difference between the other taupes that we have in the line. So our gray Sterling, it does have really soft, subtle undertones of yellow to it, even though it's a gray. It's a really beautiful, dynamic color. If you're using it on its own on a piece, it's really going to be a statement color, and it's going to have a really nice depth to it. Next in our line we have Pebble, and this is one of the new Michael Penny colors. This one is kind of like what I consider a chameleon color, one that has a couple of different undertones and layers, so you're really going to get a dynamic color out of this. If you change your lighting or move the piece of furniture around in your room, it will look like it's changed color on you. It will grab different elements of light as it hits it. So the Sterling on the left is a little bit more on the gray side, whereas the Pebble has just a little soft hint of green, a little bit more of that natural feel. Another one of our taupes that we have is really quite beautiful. It's actually called Cathedral Taupe, and this one has a very pink undertone. And you wouldn't typically see that unless you put it side by side to another color. So that's what we're doing here, is putting it side by side so we can get that perspective. We're also applying it to white. White really helps to show you what that color is that's coming through. Quite often, Cathedral Taupe on its own just looks like a very soft, off-white with a hint, the most subtlest hint of a pinkish purple undertone and hue, but still has that gray feeling to it. But very interesting, when we see it side by side with Pebble, it looks so much more pink and red in the undertone. You're always going to see the most drastic contrast when you put them side by side. Next is one of my absolute favorites in the line. When I was developing this color line, I had to have this color. It's called Bedford. It has a green undertone to it, and once again acts like one of those chameleon colors too. Can really take on a bit of a different shade depending on where it is. It can look softer, like a lighter gray, depending on your lighting, or it can really bring out that more green hue that's in there. Beautiful color for both interior and exterior. And when we talk about exterior colors, you want to typically take it a step up in terms of depth and richness of color. Because when you go outside, the natural light outside is really going to lighten your overall color. One of our next colors here is in the Michael Penny collection, and it's Linen. This is brand new. Here we go. Now we're getting that rich, beautiful depth that I was talking about. This is a beautiful, reminiscent of natural linen, but it's got just a little bit more of that depth, so it can really give you a true color. Fabulous for exterior. Last but not least, one of, again, my favorite, all-time favorite taupes, especially for exterior, is called Algonquin. Now this is a very interesting color. Again, it will change depending on the lighting that you have. It is a phenomenal color for both exterior and interior. You can pair this up with some limestone on the inside. I've seen some beautiful bathrooms painted in Algonquin. Stunning color, fabulous for cabinets as well. It gives you a really nice richness and depth, and really helps to anchor. If you're doing a feature wall, a fabulous anchor wall color as well. And you can really see the difference between Algonquin and Linen. Linen has more of that green tone, whereas Algonquin again has a little bit more that beige and pinky tone. Now all on their own you won't see these colors and tones come out, but it's when we put them all together lined up that you start to see the differences, those subtleties that come out side by side with that contrast.